शन्नो मित्रशं वरुणः शन्नो भवद्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः तस्य प्रियमेव शिरः
तस्य प्रियमेव शिरः
मोदो दक्षिणः पक्षः
मोदो दक्षिणः पक्षः
प्रमोद उत्तरः पक्षः
प्रमोद उत्तरः पक्षः
आनन्द आत्मा
आनन्द आत्मा
ब्रह्मपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा
ब्रह्मपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा
तदप्येष श्लोको भवति
तदप्येष श्लोको भवति.
Yeah, so we have seen a long argument which was very important and we spent quite a bit of time looking at that. And what was that argument? We have reached the end of all the mayas here. What is the maya?
Modification.
Yeah, all the modifications. First there was the body maya, then life force maya, mind maya, doer maya, and then now what? Ananda maya finally. So then after this any other maya is there? No, maya is maya. So after this maya has become maya, it has disappeared. So it will lead people, and this is the problem in both the everyday understanding and also in what? In the regular, in the everyday understanding and in the scholarly, the Pandit understanding, meaning all these where the schools of thoughts are born, you know. Yeah, in these unschooled heads where they don't know what even is Brahman. So these the various unschooled to Brahman, various schools of thoughts, alternatives to what it is, are born. And if you look at it, and what is fascinating is if you look at it 5,000 years ago, or 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, or now, the Purva Pakshin, who is the Purva Pakshin? The objector, the doubter, has been the same. You know, they said, I mean, it's a very interesting example, that in the 40s when the Nagasaki and Hiroshima were bombed, the people, of course, so many people, you know, were maimed and killed, and then there was not a single thing, you know, the trees died, the bushes died, the plants died, the birds died, the insects died, the waterways got polluted with all these radiation leaks. There was only one thing that was alive. What was that? Cockroach. Yeah. So the cockroach showed itself to be resistant to the atom bomb. Correct? Yeah. And so too our Purva Pakshi, that objector, the doubter, the one who keeps on, you know, bringing things here and there to life, Purva Pakshi has also shown that he or she is more resilient than the cockroach. Really. Because it's the same mindset. You have to see the mindset that has survived. The Purva Pakshi is not a person, it's a mindset. Yeah. I'm not insulting the Purva Pakshi by calling the Purva Pakshi a cockroach. When you say Purva Paksha, it's a mindset, it's a particular kind of a, what's its name? Thinking, or a non-thinking thinking. Non-understanding thinking. So when you think after understanding, then we can say the brain cells are doing their job. But when you start thinking without understanding, it's the skull cap, not the herb. There is a herb called skull cap. I'm not talking of that. The skull, which is the bones of the head, starts to think. Yeah, that which encloses the brain cell is thinking. Meaning, what kind of thoughts will come if the skull starts to think? We don't even want to think about that. Correct? So this is in Sanskrit expression, kapala kalpitam. Kapala kalpitam means the brain cells are on vacation and the skull has taken over the job of the brain cells. Because this is usually what happens, One arm gets amputated, for example, perhaps the person is at war or an accident. And then let's say that is the dominant, hand that gets amputated. And then what? The non-dominant hand takes over the job of the dominant hand. Correct? Same thing with the legs. The prosthesis and there was in the Olympics one blade runner. Yeah. Double amputee from the, knee down, I think. Knee up, yeah. And then he had these two kind of blades and he fought for and won the right to run in the regular Olympics. And in fact, he ran so fast in one of the trials they had organized and they had to sit down, the Olympic committee had to sit down and wonder if he is actually more at an advantage without having the legs. Maybe he is more at an advantage than the other people with the legs. So very interesting. So you see, when one thing stops, the other one takes over. So when the correct thinking stops, what happens? The wrong thinking takes over. This is the Purva Pakshi. And to give you an example of the resilience, because up till now you can go along with the Purva Pakshi has been coming along, and in fact he has been quiet for quite some time. He has not raised his head and wondered what has happened. He has been quiet. And what is there, what has happened as a result of that quietude? One would think, the teacher would think, okay, the people are enjoying the classes, the people are listening, and everything is wonderful. Not. Because then in the Anandamaya, the Purva Pakshi starts to overthink. And what is that resilience that I was wanting to point out? From 5,000 years ago, the same thought has persisted, albeit with different shades, different, clothing. The same thought. What is the thought? That bliss which we are talking about as, that bliss which everybody wants. That bliss is, of course, this is Purva Pakshi's language. I'm not saying this. So the Purva Pakshi is saying this is the bliss that everybody wants. And this bliss is being discussed in Anandamaya chapter. So we have big bliss, small bliss. What is small bliss? Priya. Big bliss is Pramoda, of course, and something in between. And why not we say this itself is Brahman? And they will find out different ways to make this into Brahman. How to make this into Brahman? To make this into Brahman, we have to have, certain logic. And this is the twisted logic of the objector. One thing they will say is so first we have what? Annamaya, next? Pranamaya, next? Manomaya, next? Vijnanamaya, next? Anandamaya, next? Maya. Maya has become Maya, I told you. So therefore, when there is nothing more coming, at the very end, that leads to the erroneous conclusion that Anandamaya itself is what we call Brahman. So this Priya, Moda, Pramoda are various quote-unquote aspects of Brahman, which of course is very, very faulty for reasons that we know. We have already discussed this at great length. So these are all aspects of Brahman. And then what happens is that there is a lot of, non-determined thinking here. So that is one argument. Second argument is that Anandamaya is Brahman because there is, first argument that there is nothing coming after it. Next argument is everybody wants Ananda, correct? So this is what is discussing Ananda. So Ananda is Brahman, so why not Anandamaya also? Another faulty logic. To which Bhashyakara, in 5 pages of Bhashya, we have covered this, has talked about, Adi Shankara, Bhashyakara means Adi Shankara, has talked about and dismissed at length this particular fallacy, that the quote-unquote experiential, happiness, or what the Purva Pakshi is calling some kind of a special bliss, is indeed Brahman, because if Brahman was this special bliss which is what? In time and place, which is located in a particular time, in a particular place, in a particular mindset. If this is what is the truth, then what happens? Then that which is limitless becomes finite. This is the problem. So the Purva Pakshi has been, so that was the first argument to knock off the Purva Pakshi. The next argument is we have Annamaya, Anna plus Maya, which Maya means what? Modification, limitation. Anything that's modified is limited. Then Ananda, Maya. So why that first Maya means limitation and the last Maya means the whole thing? How can that be? He dismisses that also. And then he says, look at the context. The context is getting to the Atma, which is the innermost Pratyagatma. The innermost means not in terms of location we are talking innermost. But what are we talking? In terms of, in terms of getting rid of all other things that pose as the Atma. In terms of the locus of errors we are talking. We are trying to remove the errors. We are not trying to remove the Atma itself. So we get to the Atma means it's not an experiential getting to the Atma, it is removing of the errors, and that is what is called the innermost Atma, meaning that which after all these locus of errors we come to finally to understand, that is what is called the Atma. So then what happens as a result? And then, so we have now established, and a few other examples he gives. We have gone through it. I don't want to keep, repeating that because there have been many, many repetitions. You can go and look back at the other classes which have been recorded if you want to refresh the memory. So he also talks about 2 other, ways in which he refutes this argument. You can look at that. So now we come to the main question. If Anandamaya is not the, Atma, is not the ultimate Atma, what is it? Yeah. It is just like other Mayas, correct? Which have limbs. What are the limbs of Anandamaya? Priya, Moda and Pramoda. And we also saw Priya means Ishtavastu Darshanam. When you see something that you love, what happens? Little smile comes, correct? Mm-hmm. Oh, something nice is happening, And then when you get something, when that object of love comes close to you, then that's a few teeth are shown. A slightly wider smile. And then finally what? Pramoda, all 32 are seen. 32 what? Teeth. Yeah. Everything, the smile grows. And then after that what? Dukkha again. Because this is like the ultimate within the range of experiential happiness. We have to understand this. Why does it stop at Pramoda? Because the basis for Pramoda is what? Brahma Puchham Pratishtha, that Brahman which is the tail of the Anandamaya bird, that itself the Brahman. See, all Priya, Moda, Pramoda are Brahman. Brahman is not Priya or Moda or Pramoda. This is what we have to see. So Priya, Moda, Pramoda, Brahma eva. Brahman alone is Priya, Moda, Pramoda, but they are not the other way around. It does not, work. Because if Brahman is Pramoda, then that means Brahman has gradations, shades. There are so many shades. One color you pick, blue, there will be, 150 shades, especially if you go to paint store, you will get so confused. Even if you're not colorblind, you will be temporarily blinded by the colors, because everything will start to look the same when you keep looking at, they have all these charts of shades, and you keep looking at the shades, and it is mind-boggling, very difficult. So therefore what? So therefore we have to see this, properly, that which doesn't have any shades, that which doesn't have any kind of shading is Brahman. And when you talk of shades of happiness or grades of happiness, shade or grade, equally shady both those prospects are in terms of Brahman. Why? Because when you say Moda, let's take the middle one, okay? So it is more than Priya and less than Pramoda. So it is in the middle. That means what? That I can get something more. Right? I mean, we are just taking this as an example. And then what? I can get something more. There is that feeling of that wanting feeling is there. And then in terms of Priya, already been there and done that. That jaded feeling is there. Yeah. Already been there and done that. Now I am here. Now I am headed somewhere else. So you see, on both ends there is lesha, a residue. And what is that residue really? One is the residue, if you look at it forward looking, one is the residue of anticipation of something better, correct? And then the other one is the residue of that something which has been left behind. And the same thing if you take Pramoda. If you take Pramoda, it is the final stage of experiential happiness within samsara. What is possible is only what? Pramoda. But that doesn't make one happy, because why? After Pramoda what? Decline. So when you reach the top of the hill, then what? Over the hill. Yeah. That is what it is. When you reach the pinnacle, then what is in front of you is just the descent. So this is what is true of all experiential happiness. You reach the heights, and then what happens? You go down. Like, climb up, and then you go down the slide, the chute. So therefore, Pramoda, ironically, even though it's the happiest state within the Anandamaya, has what? Dukkha lesha, is laced. Lesha means has got a residue of dukkha, dukkham. It's got a residue of sorrow. What is the residue? Oh, I have reached my peak. There's nothing more for me. This is what the CEO of some big thing thinks, That sadness that comes with success is Pramoda really. So that it is already comes laced with a little foam of sadness. That's what it is. Like the coffee drink, sometimes they put that, what is that? Milk with bubbles in it. Foamy milk. Steamed milk, correct. So you put that hot steamed milk, and then, and the bubbles, go away. That's what it is. And the bubbles are, that Pramoda, and underneath, is just what? That sorrow. That's all it is. Bubbles are there, but the Pramoda is, as it is there, it is becoming less and less and less. And there is this kind of a strange feeling of not having got there, not having gained what I came here. And whether, the came here is in terms of birth or in terms of a single pursuit, whether it's a particular exam or a particular goal in life. I'm not getting what I came here to do. I do not have the satisfaction. That is the thing. I do not have the satisfaction of having gained what I came here to get. This is Pramoda. Okay? So then, one thing to understand is that, Acharya says something. What does Acharya say? That this is something which is a intriguing situation. And what is the intriguing situation here? The intriguing situation is that we have to see that if Priya, Moda, Pramoda are the what's its name? Are the top possibility in Anandamaya, then what is this thing called Brahman? If Ananda is Brahman, what is this Ananda? That we will have to see in detail at some other time. But there are a few other things to look at. So within the Anandamaya itself. Because when we say this sorrow lesha, we have to see the residue of sorrow that is experienced when one, for example, the loved one, comes and one enjoys a lot of sannidhyam, closeness with the loved one, whether it's a parent or a child or a significant other one enjoys, and then what happens after that? There is a separation. Either physical, mental, or there is a fight or something like that, an argument, that separation happens. Like I told you, viyogantaha sanyogaha, all coming together in pramoda is until the separation takes place. So until the separation takes place is the unification. So now what happens, this is very, very interesting, is that the pramoda is still waiting and trying its best to hold on to that closeness, to not let the separation happen. Correct? And then when I am holding on to, or when I am making an effort to hold on to that closeness, what am I doing? What is effort? Karma. That means what? The Vijnanamaya comes up again. Right? Mm-hmm. So the Vijnanamaya, Manomaya, Pranamaya, all of them are there in Moda, Pramoda, etc. Because when you smile, the body is being used. Right? So when you show the 32 teeth and say, I am in Pramoda, that means the body is being used in the Anandamaya. And sometimes, you go to see some movie, like a suspense thriller. And that, those two should be an oxymoron. How can there be suspense and how can it thrill? But it does, correct? And what, the hairs stand up. Oh, is he going to die or is he going to be alive? And who is doing it and what is happening? This is a creepy film, and the creepier it gets, a creepy pramoda arises and takes over the body, because then the body is the one gripping the seat. It's not Anandamaya gripping the seat. It's the hands, which is part of Annamaya, gripping the seat. The Manomaya is just in suspense. Pranamaya has stopped breathing, holding the breath. And Vijnanamaya is like, oh, I can't sit in the seat, maybe I should go get some popcorn. What to do is contemplating action. And the Anandamaya is experiencing this creepy pramoda in the thriller. Okay? Now this is very interesting because all the mayas are coming together. This is what happens as you go deeper and deeper. So if you're just talking about Annamaya, you can just talk about physicality and the physical reactions to things, but even then you're bringing other koshas. But especially as each kosha is pervaded by the other kosha. Tenaisha purnaha. Remember our little refrain that keeps happening. Tenaisha purnaha. Tenaisha purnaha means Tena Vijnanamayena Eshaha Anandamayaha Purnaha. So this Vijnanamaya is permeated by a more subtler entity called Anandamaya. So therefore what? So to hold on to a object of desire or even a experience of a positive experience, an experience of love, an experience of happiness, whatever I associate with happiness, then what? The person is forced is unseated from being a pure quote-unquote experiencer and rushes to do something to keep the experience going. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Vijnanamaya comes into the picture. So the Vijnanamaya, that's why it is so difficult to distinguish this Anandamaya, because the other koshas always keep coming into the situation. So now this is the situation. The situation is very, very clear. And what is the situation? The situation is that in Pramoda, there is dukkha lesha. In all of them, priya, moda, pramoda, there is a little wanting, a little sorrow. That's why the presence of sorrow makes it non-Brahman, because Brahman is opposed to any kind of sorrow, being limitless. And so the presence of the sorrow already means that the Anandamaya has become Vijnanamaya, because the Anandamaya does not experience sorrow. Of course, it's the same mind, but for the purposes of technical understanding, Anandamaya is Sukha Bhokta and Dukkha is, split up. So who is the one who is experiencing Dukkha? It is split up between Manomaya and Vijnanamaya. They have the portfolio. The Vijnanamaya is the saddest of all, really. And the Manomaya is competing right there to be right next to Vijnanamaya. Vijnanamaya is depressed. All depression belongs to Vijnanamaya. I should not say Vijnanamaya is depressed. Vijnanamaya is the doer. And Vijnanamaya gets depressed. Why? Because of the fact that, no matter how much I do, nothing is happening. No matter how much I do, nothing is going on. I'm not getting anything in return. Meaning what? There is a discrepancy between my expectations and the results. Right? And so this is Vijnanamaya. And the Vijnanamaya is completely, what's its name? The Vijnanamaya is the one to which the sorrow belongs. Why? Because that doership and sorrow are actually two different sides of the same thing. The more I do, the more stressed out and the more sorry that one gets. So it's connected to that. And the Manomaya, of course, is very sorrowful because it can think itself to sadness. So when I say Anandamaya has Dukkha Lesha, that Dukkha doesn't belong to Anandamaya. It belongs to who? Vijnanamaya, really. And another way the Vijnanamaya comes, because the we saw in that group prayer, in the collective aspect of the Vijnanamaya, what did we see? Vijnanam yajnam tanute karmani tanute picha. So the Vijnanam tanute performs what? Karma and yajna. Yajna means what? Religious actions. Karma means what kind of actions?
Laukika in this case?
Laukika actions, meaning mundane or everyday actions, and also ritualistic actions. So now why does the Vijnanamaya perform actions? This we have never discussed even when discussing Vijnanamaya. Why? Why does anyone perform actions?
Desire for result.
Desire for result. So the Karta performs the actions in order to what? To become a Bhokta. This is something we have to understand. So the Vijnanamaya produces the Anandamaya because the Vijnanamaya anticipates the Anandamaya and does the actions so that one can become a Bhokta. Any action you take. So, even doing puja, in front of Bhagavan one stands, and then more than the flower in the hands, is a bada list in the head. Oh, give me this, give me that, give me a Mercedes Benz, give me this, give me an iPad, all these things, make my life happy, keep my family strong, keep it together, make me strong. This is far outweighing the bhoga. Bhoga is called naivedyam or flowers or whatever you have in your hand, So you give a little plate of food to Bhagavan, small little something. And then one kiwi you give to Bhagavan. This is the kiwi, And you say pranaya swaha, apanaya swaha, you're loudly saying that. But inside what is happening, give me some more aha in my life. Okay, swaha, give me some more aha. This is what one is praying. So the prayer, even in the religious action, even though you are offering to somebody else, in which case, in this case it is Bhagavan, you are a Bhokta, really. You are the one who is wanting that punya. One becomes a punya hog. So wants that and cannot let go of that, because one knows that Anandamaya is nothing. Even if one doesn't know this, one has to know. Anandamaya is nothing but the experience of punya. Experience of punya. So whenever I go from Priya, Moda, Pramoda, any which way you take, Moda, Priya, Pramoda, Moda, Amoda, Moda, whatever it is you take, any combination, that means what? In order to experience that happiness, I should have what? Punya. I should have punya. So whether it is Vaidika karma, like in puja, the puja is for what? Is not for the sake of Bhagavan. Whose sake it is for? My sake. So that I will, spiritually tether my tent, to the ground, so that I will have spiritual experiences or spiritual growth or spiritual happiness or some kind of spiritual movement like heaven, etc. That is if one is altruistic. If one is not altruistic, then it's just a mundane thing of, sometimes they make deals with Bhagavan. Look, I brought this mala for you now. And what did you give? Yes, last time you didn't give me anything. So you better, I made this mala with my own hands, okay? Look, even some thorns, cut here. And you better give me what I have wanted all along. So one becomes an inner 2-year-old comes out. It's all appropriate. There's nothing wrong, but we have to see what is happening. So basically, the doer is not, you are not doing just for the sake of being a doer. Nobody is doing that, unless one is crazy, okay? In which case we are not addressing those people, we are only addressing garden variety neurosis that brings one to Vedanta. So this is what we are talking about, is that the doer, when you ask a person, why are you doing this, they will always have an answer. So that I can get this out of this. There is an expectancy, an expectation is there. And this we have to be honest about. The other thing that we have to be extremely honest about is that no matter what the person says, I'm doing this so that my family can be happy, it is actually for one's own sake that one is doing this. Because all it needs is a few more questions. Just say, let your family be crying 24/7. What is it to you? No. How I can be at peace if they are crying? If they are crying, I am also crying. Why? Why are you? Because I am associated with them. Sangha dosha. The fallacy of association. Okay, become a sangha. Know that you are a kutastha and you are a sangha. No, how I can do that? I have to take care of them. Okay, take care of them. Yeah, that's why I am doing this puja, so they can be happy. But really, are you really worried about them? No, I am worried about myself. This is another level of intellectual honesty which is needed. Yes, which the Aranyaka Upanishad talks about and, goads everybody to have. This level of intellectual honesty. And what is this intellectual honesty? That no matter how altruistic the motives, my motivations for any actions may sound, they are all so that I am the one who is reaping the results of those actions. So family happiness is for who? Oneself. And community happiness, that's another thing. I want to do something for the community. I'm going to cook and distribute food at the kitchen. What kind of kitchen? That common kitchens which people have, which cities have. Community kitchen and there's soup kitchen, etc. I want to go and give to the people. Why? Oh, because they are suffering and it's raining and they are suffering and poor things. Let them be. Let them get their food from something. Let them stand at the cross street and let them beg or let them do whatever. No, how can I do that? Why? Because when I see them standing stranded in the crossroads, I feel pain. I feel guilty. I cannot enjoy my excesses when I see somebody in a wanting state, especially if I am in a position to help them. So really, is it about helping them? No. It's about getting to a place of non-conflict and non-guilt within oneself. So same thing like earthquake in China. Oh, those horrible earthquakes. Why there had to be one more? Why so many tsunamis? So many, 400 people died. Let them die. Oh, how you can say that? How can you be so aloof? Let them die. Okay, go there and do some work then. No, I can't because I have a job. So therefore I'll just send some money. You see? So not that, not that one's involvement in community affairs is lessened. But we have to look at the motivation. Not that we have to detract from people's doing dharma or charity. The charity work is really for oneself. That's why there is an expression, charity begins at home, and to which we have to add, it ends at home. Home means here, the place where there is om. That is the home. Yeah. So this is where the ultimate thing stops. Because all the actions that the Vijnanamaya does is not for the sake of anybody else but oneself. And the second thing we have to understand is that the Vijnanamaya's actions are performed for what? For the sake of reaping the fruits of the action, not for the sake of the actions. Like we saw this a little bit earlier. Somebody is building a house and calls you for that griha pravesham. What is that? Housewarming ceremony. And then you go to the housewarming ceremony, and then what happens? And then you ask the person, so this is a lovely home, what are you going to do? Are you going to move here? No, I'm happy where I am. So you're going to rent it out? No, I don't think. Oh, so you are going to have your parents or your husband's parents or wife's parents, whoever come and stay? No. Are you going to give it to your children? Not really. So what are you going to put it up on the market and sell it? I don't think so. So what are you going to do? It's just a house for the sake of the house. Who will do that? No one. Correct? At least not the people we are addressing. So therefore what? So samhatasya, that which is put together with effort is not for the sake of that thing which is put together. It is for the sake of the person putting it together. So all these karmas that one is, what should I say, frantically the Vijnanamaya is going around performing is for the sake of becoming a bhokta. And this is where, my friends, all the theologies stop. Because the theologies want to make everybody a bhokta of what? Heaven. This is what it is. And so everybody will say, you do good deeds, and then what will happen? You will go to heaven. And then what will happen? You will be there. Then what will happen? You will be very happy. Then what will happen? You will be there forever. Okay. Nobody even questions this. Nobody says, where is heaven? Oh, it's outside the Jagat. So if heaven is outside the Jagat, consider this. This heaven is outside of me? Yes. Heaven is outside of the Jagat, the universe? Yes. And that it is an eternal place? Yes. How can it be eternal? Eternal means free of space, free of time, and free of being an object. So how can it be eternal and then be located in space? How is that possible? No, this is the mystery of God. Don't ask questions. Whether it's the mystery of God or history of God, we don't know. But it is not in place with logic. The logic has to be, quickly understood, properly understood. And if the logic is not understood, then these are the kinds of problems that one runs into. So if this so-called place of happiness is outside of me, then I don't even know where it is. It is not even in this life. It is in afterlife, correct? So in this life, I will be Vijnanamaya, according to the theology, most theology, and in the afterlife, I will be Anandamaya. What kind of a logic is this, So I keep doing. So why? Because I will earn enough punya, currency, to go and enjoy in heaven. It's like saying I'm going to work for 50 years of my life so that I can enjoy retirement. At least that is better. Because this here, we don't even know that after death that this body may survive, or this I may survive the body or not. Non-verifiable belief. That it will go to, how will it know the correct gate to open and go to heaven? Non-verifiable belief. That there is a heaven, non-verifiable belief. That this I will go there, non-verifiable belief. That once it reaches heaven, the I will be happy, non-verifiable belief. Yeah, because the I may become very sad. Every day stupid concerts. This is the Vedic version of heaven. Morning concert, evening concert, and some dances in between. Rambha, Urvashi, Menaka will dance for you. Every day one concert, maybe I won't like it. How do you know? How do you know that you will like it? So there is so many ifs, you see. And that's why there are all these jokes. There are so many jokes about this, this heaven and everything. This person dies, one joke goes like this, and then goes and doesn't know if it's God or devil, because looks too comely to be a devil and doesn't look holy enough to be God. Somebody greets him, and then he shows him 3 doors. You please pick one, but you have to pick the door without opening and seeing what is inside. And so he comes in front of the first door, and everybody is screaming, Amma, 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 yo, oh no, oh, help, bachao, save me, help me. And he says, oh my God, this is very scary door. Even without opening the door, I don't want door number 1. He says, all right. And door number 2, they are not screaming like that, they are softly wailing. And they're all crying and they're all mumbling and grumbling. And he says, this also doesn't sound very good. I don't want this. Are you sure? Yes, let's move forward. And door number 3, he puts his ear, and then, everything is quiet. No sound. He says, oh my God, this is so peaceful. And then he hears someone say to another person, would you like more coffee? And the other person says, no thank you, that was enough. And he says, okay, this is the one I want. Again that being who takes, are you sure? Yes. And so then he sees inside there is a big pit of sludge. A horrible pit of sludge, and very offensive smell and really bad, but the people are only standing knee deep in it and then drinking coffee. And then he says, it's okay, still, it's, the coffee smell will overpower this other smell and everything. And so, don't worry, and I have made the right choice. And then the door shuts behind him. He is now inside, eternally, supposedly. And then as soon as he is asked to jump into the pit, he is welcomed. And he says, where is my coffee? And he says, that was just a break. Now we have to go underneath this sludge. We have to go fully immersed in the sludge and pick for something, whatever is there, shells or stones or something from under the depths of this pit, some stones. That was just a little coffee break. So, so we have all these interpretations of heaven and hell. Why? Because we have made a joke of it with these theologies. Yeah. So this afterlife cannot be Anandamaya, because the Anandamaya is very much here as well. So the afterlife is included in the Anandamaya, but not exactly the Anandamaya itself. It extends to afterlife, correct? Vijnanamaya does not extend to afterlife. Yeah. Because in heaven one is not a karta. One is a pure bhokta. So this bhoga alone is talked about in this whole sense. And that one does the action to experience the result of action. And so that's why the Vijnanamaya is very, very stressed. Do you see why the sorrow is with Vijnanamaya? Because the Vijnanamaya has all the stress. Will what I do bear results or not? We don't know. Will the results that they bear, will they be good or bad? We don't know. And when I get the results that I seek, do I really want it or not? We don't know. Will the result lead to moda or pramoda? We don't know. Or something in between, priya or pramoda? We don't know. So there is the Anandamaya, the Vijnanamaya, the doer is entirely out of control and is completely fearful. It's a fearful doership because there is a prime, all the focus is elsewhere. It's not on the doing itself. Yeah. It's all focused, result based. So one compromises the doing in order to get to the results. So the ends justify the means. It's very funny. And so therefore, and also the stress of not getting the results that I want makes the Vijnanamaya scared, makes the Vijnanamaya anxious, makes the Vijnanamaya sad. And then what? Vijnanamaya becomes Anandamaya, Bhokta. Karta becomes Bhokta. And the Bhokta is again unhappy. Why? Because it only got Priya and not Pramoda. It did not get in the ladder of happiness. And so the Karta, and then it goads the Vijnanamaya again and slips back from Vijnanamaya to Anandamaya. All within this one body, mind, sense complex. Very complex. Yeah. So this is the whole situation with the interrelationship between Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya, because as we go one thing to another, even though these are ideal types, we have to see how the whole body mind sense complex and all the koshas are brought in, which is why Atma goes bye-bye, or the understanding of the Atma goes away, because one gets caught up or bogged down by the physical and the mental reactions to situations and things. More we will see later. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.